Our exhibition is maybe unusual in the museum world in that the majority of exhibitions that people display and that visitors attend tend to be the high points of civilization, the things of beauty and wonder, the achievements of humankind. Our story is very different to that, of course. Our story is a story of destruction, it's a story of mass murder. And the objects that we have are not, in the main, these wonderful kind of cultural, beautiful, artistic productions. Instead, we display many very ordinary, very everyday things that at first glance may even seem rather banal. That might be, for instance, towards the end of the exhibition, there's a woolen blanket. It's very simple, it's a mass-produced blanket. When we think of a blanket, we might think of our bed, a warm bed, a place where we go, of course, when we're tired or if we're sick, where we go and retreat for a little while. It's the place where you're told bedtime stories by your parents, or where as an adult you hold your lover. Bed means something to us. But a bed in Auschwitz, of course, is a hard wooden bunk. It's a 3 or 4 tiered bunk, which is a place of the dead and the dying. And the blanket that was covering those people, tens of thousands of these blankets, each one of them has its own individual story of suffering. It appears anonymous because it's mass-produced, but this thin blanket was all that covered these people through the cold winters, for instance. No heating in these barracks. This is also, though, the blanket that we display in the exhibition has its own unique story. It's the blanket that a 24-year-old Jewish tailor, Siegfried Fedrid, grabbed from his bunk as the 60,000 or so inmates were forced marched out of Auschwitz in January 1945, marched many miles through the snow, and perished along the way. These are the death marches. People collapsed, they were shot along the roadside, they perished from the cold. And this is the blanket that Siegfried Fedrid clung to and huddled underneath and saved his life. But even more than that, and I think this is not necessarily something to be expected, this is a blanket that he shared with others. So 4 other men were wrapped in that blanket with him. And in a story of inhumanity and a process that was designed to destroy everything about the human being's spirit, their dignity, this is an object which, to me, perhaps even speaks more profoundly to the human condition and is an object of wonder, even more so than many of these that fill our wonderful art galleries around the world.